Let's talk a little bit about the company. You know, I've worked for some big firms, so on and so forth. I could never find the type of culture that I wanted to spend my every waking hour essentially, and because a lot of us do that when we work, we spend most of our waking hours at work. So I wanted a corporate culture that fit with my lifestyle, and my lifestyle is I love what I do, and everybody in the firm loves what they do for the firm. It's an amazing team. We're very fortunate. Well, I guess this would be as good a time as any to introduce you to our senior management team. So let's do that now. Charles Dreer, Executive Director, Investment Policy Committee, Commonwealth Capital. Hi, Charles. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course. I'm proud to say I'm a fifth-generation Chicagoan. My education background is with initially Loras College and then DePaul University here in Chicago. My career spans about 40 years, initially with America's oldest and largest independent data processing, where I learned all of the accounting functions of payroll, general ledger, accounts receivable, and accounts payable. Actually trained our sales force and moved into sales. Then I moved on to Control Data Corporation, where I got very much involved in what was called computer-based education, and they liked what I was doing so much that they sent me to New York to computerize large lawsuits on a case-by-case basis. I then moved on to the financial community, and I was a commodity options broker, and then my clients encouraged me to get with a major brokerage firm, and I'm proud to say I joined Shearson Lehman Brothers and was with them for almost 8 years.
Okay, when and how did you meet Commonwealth Capital and Tim Hogan?
I met Tim Hogan in 2002. I answered an ad in the Wall Street Journal. Tim invited me to a breakfast at the Drake Hotel, which I thought was pretty classy. After about a 2.5-hour meeting of discussing my background and learning about Tim's company, he hired me on the spot and asked me to stay and interview the next couple of candidates, which I was happy to do.
Good, thank you very much. What attracted you to Commonwealth Capital, and why did you decide to join the firm?
After learning Tim's background, when you partner with any human being, to me it's critical to have honesty, because the only way you can build a business together is to trust your partners. Tim was a former compliance officer for a Midwest regional brokerage firm, and I had worked for over 18 months with our compliance officer when I worked for Shearson Lehman Brothers on a $100 million client, international client, and realized the detail and the structure a compliance officer imposes on the team, and I knew he would make a great partner.
Thank you. What do you like the most about working with Commonwealth Capital?
I can get up every morning and realize that we're enabling entrepreneurs, which are the rock bed of our economy, providing them the opportunity to raise capital for a brilliant idea they have that will benefit all of humankind, especially people in the United States and maybe even abroad. And to be a little part of that, to be that spark, is very exciting.
Well, thank you. How much did you invest in time in this project?
I'm with the firm 17 years, and it's been my life. It's been my life dream, because I've taken the three different industries, if you will, of accounting, of computer-based education, and the brokerage industry, and drew from those experiences into our firm, Commonwealth Capital.
Excellent. And how much cash did you invest?
I think I'm at about the $140,000 level.
I believe that's correct. Very good. Okay, anything else you'd like to add?
Just to reemphasize, at this stage of my life, It's wonderful to give back, and that's how I think what we're doing to help entrepreneurs in America. We're taking the knowledge that we've gained over our lifetime and sharing that with the community, and that's fun.
Excellent. Charles, it is a joy to have you as part of the firm, and I want to thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, bye-bye. And here's Scott J. McKinnon, Chief Technology Officer for Commonwealth Capital. Hi, Scott.
How are you doing?
Good. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, I've been in the IT world for over 35 years, and of that I've worked from small companies to enterprise-sized companies. I love to actually help small companies grow into bigger companies, or even, in our case, get purchased by bigger companies. And yeah, I love every types of development that there is out there. So I've worked from everything from building servers and data centers to, installing a printer for Tim.
All right. So when did you join Commonwealth Capital, and why?
Well, I joined in 2003, October of 2003, and it was actually through Charles Dreer.
Mm-hmm.
He introduced me to Tim, and it was kind of just a fun adventure to saying, hey, with all the IT stuff you're doing, we're looking at small businesses and things like that, trying to help them get past that, 5-year mark, and this looks like a great opportunity to do that, and it's American companies that we could save and that kind of thing. At the time, it was something that it just seemed like a really great way of teaching them about finance and how to raise capital the proper way, and then just with the IT needs of it, and I knew how to develop websites and all that kind of stuff. So it was just a nice, fun fit to do as an adventure. It was literally a side thing initially, and then just turned into more and more. So.
Excellent, thank you. And what's your favorite part about working with Commonwealth?
My favorite part about it is actually the environment of the people, and I mean everyone's fun and friendly, and we all have a great time. And actually, the people we meet. I mean, we meet some amazing people of so many different styles, and it literally is like a little adventure every time that you're meeting various different people. You're walking in and greeting them and learning their stories. I mean, I love to tell stories, but they love to tell stories too. So it's kind of a neat thing to go back and forth and just hear what their story is, hear what their success story is, hear what their failures are, hear where they want to go, and seeing if we can get them there.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, entrepreneurs are a fun bunch, aren't they?
Yeah.
So how much sweat equity have you put into the company since '03?
'03? Oh, gosh. It's so much that I'm sweating all over the place.
Hard to calculate, right?
Exactly, it's hard to calculate. It's really been, personally speaking, of my time, I'm in the millions. So it's been,
Good deal. Okay, anything else you'd like to add for the investors out there?
Definitely, don't be afraid to take on a challenge. A good friend told me once that if you have an idea, it's the people that succeed are the ones who actually go for that idea. The ones that everyone has ideas and everyone can be geniuses, but the ones who actually make it are the ones who go for the idea. You can't be afraid.
Good deal. Well, thanks a lot, Scott. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you next week.
Excellent.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, good afternoon. We have Russell C. Weigel III, attorney at law and chief legal counsel for Commonwealth Capital. How are you this afternoon, Russ?
I'm doing great, Tim. Thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Can you just give us a little background about yourself professionally, please?
Yes, Tim, thank you. Well, I'm a securities attorney. I've been a securities attorney for 29 years, practicing law for 30, and I spent my first 10 years in securities law practice in the SEC's Division of Enforcement, and where I conducted investigations and then supervised them for 4 years. I litigated them. I was in the trial unit, and I eventually left in 2001 and started doing that in the converse, representing the public and protecting the public. And I do both defense work, and I help companies do their offering compliance. I register them and so forth. And I've done it for a couple different law firms. I've done it as a shareholder for a regional firm. in Florida, and then also started my own firm in 2005, all doing the same things. So securities law is what I do, and it's all compliance focused. Along the way, I wrote a book, and trying to a book designed to warn entrepreneurs of what you're getting into, out there in the world, because a lot of them have no idea how dangerous securities laws are, and our mission is compliance and keeping them safe.
Excellent.
So, that's a thing that we have here too.
Excellent. Well, we met in 2014 and had a little chat, and I remember that real well. But can you give the folks a little taste about you maybe your memory of that and why you decided to join Commonwealth Capital?
Well, I think I met you at a conference, I believe, and we just sort of hit it off. You seem to have a background that was complementary to mine. We both had I think the same industry focus, the same market segment focus, and you had investment banking background, while I had the legal compliance background, and we were both authors, and it seemed like we had a common vision. So we hit it off well. I frankly enjoyed being part of the company that you've built, and we've just continued on ever since then.
Yeah, it's been a great ride so far. What do you like best about working with Commonwealth Capital?
Well, the thing I find most attractive, I would say, is that the challenge of the mission that it has. It's trying to turn like analysis and compliance and accounting or financial analysis functions and automate them. Stuff that's been done for decades or eons, all the same way by manual effort, and we're now trying to make it automated and deliver that product out to the masses, and as opposed to a one-on-one type consultations. So I think that is phenomenal and totally cool to be part of it.
Great. Well, we appreciate you being a part of it, and yeah, we're super excited about it as well. There's nothing like taking a tried and true process and automating it for maximum scale. Was there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
Well, the ability to be part of this, I think, is cool for everybody, and because I think what we're doing here is building something that's going to be really big, and we don't know how big, but it's been big. It's been a lot of effort, and early indications are that people are excited about it, and people that hear about it want to be part of it, and momentum is building, and I think we're kind of like a bull in the pen. We're just waiting to bust out and go crazy in the rodeo. So get on the back and hope we can hang on, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's how we've been running the place for 2 decades. So it's been a great time and a great ride, and we're going to continue on. Thanks so much for your time today, Russ. And you and I will catch up again probably later towards the end of the week.
Excellent. All right. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you soon, Tim.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And we have with us today Robert Kuntz, our VP of Business Development. How are you, Robert?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good to hear it. Robert, we're talking to the investors today, so could you give us a little bit of your background, please?
Oh, certainly. I've been in tech marketing for well over 20 years, an entrepreneur for going on 30 years. Since the inception of the internet, at least the growth of the early internet, we've been involved in doing tech marketing, software applications, specifically the last 10 years, maybe a lot more involved in social marketing, social proofing, So it's a lot of tech development, a lot of software development, but with a specific area of expertise in marketing.
Excellent, excellent. Why did you choose to join Commonwealth?
Well, I've had a long-term relationship working with Commonwealth for 20 years now, on and off, as a contractor, if you will. I was recently, well, within the last few years, contacted by yourself, Tim. And I guess you could say after 20 years of being an entrepreneur in the tech industry and working with so many different companies, I've grown to really appreciate proper corporate engineering. And that's something with Commonwealth Capital that, by the time I made it here, if you will, I was beat up for decades. I was, run through the trenches, and every single opportunity, company, venture that I was a part of, there was also always something wrong with the corporate engineering side, with the different departments, the structure, the management. There's always reasons companies fail. And of course, being an entrepreneur, I've been a part of a lot of failures, as well as some successes. But the failures you learn a lot more from. And for me, Commonwealth Capital really, when I made it to the doors of Commonwealth Capital, I was like, I gave up. I was crying uncle. I was saying, okay, I'm just an open book. I'm a blank page. I really want to get in this and absorb it all and really understand, the ins and outs of proper corporate engineering. So for us to be able to be involved at a level where, me personally, I do fit a role in this company, and I'm excited to contribute and be able to support where I can, but at the same time, it's helping support me in my career and my expertise and learning more how to do things that are outside of my area of expertise. So I'm really excited at the opportunity to be with a well-established company that just has a stellar reputation, and they know how to do it right. That's the most important thing. Is I have been a part of a lot of capital raises with different companies, and most of the time it's a circus show. These guys are totally professional. They know what they're doing, and I just don't think there's anybody better in the industry that is better suited to take on the capital raising initiatives of a company. I'm just very proud to be with you guys.
Well, thank you very much, Robert. It's very, very heartfelt. Robert has been a key software engineer for the overall what we call friction free. And, so we're taking 20 years of our expertise and we're automating this for full scalability for, eventual blockchain applications. And, we're thrilled to have you part of it because you bring not only the tech and the knowledge on that side, but the marketing expertise and so on and so forth. And, I hate to put you on the spot here, but if there was one single thing that you really loved about working with Commonwealth, what would it be?
Oh, just the level of professionalism from each one of the team members. These guys know what they're doing. I've never had such a high level of confidence in a team.
Great. I really appreciate that, Robert. And so we're just going to keep it short. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close?
I'm looking forward to the future. I'm so excited to read the plans and be a part of planning out the actual solutions on the back end. And what you guys have, it's a wonderful way to approach the market. It's in my regards, or in my thoughts, it's the best way to approach the market. The only way I know how to do things is right, and that's my motto working with you guys. You do it right. You know how to make sure everything's compliant, and make sure it's not only just compliant and legal, but also the right deal structure for the client. And that's important being an entrepreneur, because I've been personally involved in opportunities where we lost out because of the deal structure. And if we would have known what we were doing in the beginning, if we would have had some counsel that had actually been through what we were trying to achieve, we would have saved a lot of headaches. Great.
Well, I really appreciate it, Robert, and we'll talk to you again here real soon. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Vice President of Acquisitions, Blake Woods. Hi, Blake.
How are you doing?
Good. Could you give everybody a little bit of your background, please?
Sure. I have a background in financial services and mergers and acquisitions, and led me to Commonwealth Capital through an introduction from somebody I had been doing some business with in mergers and acquisitions.
Great, thank you. What made you decide to join Commonwealth Capital?
Well, it's a good question. One of the things we did in middle market mergers and acquisitions was get involved in capital raises from time to time. And it's very difficult to raise capital for smaller middle market companies. There aren't that many places they can go to. The commercial banks typically aren't interested because there's not enough assets to lend against oftentimes. And when we would reach out on behalf of our clients trying to raise 10 to 15 to $20 million, let's say, we would go to private equity groups and venture capital funds, and it's a really expensive way to get capital. Typically, the private equity companies or the venture capitalists want a big chunk of equity in the company. They want to dictate strategy. Oftentimes, they want to dictate exit timelines, and the entrepreneurs oftentimes end up working for the private equity fund or the venture capital fund, which isn't fun for them. And it's hard to get that money. Those venture capital funds and private equity funds see thousands of deals a year, and they might invest in anywhere from 2 to 6 or 7 of them. It's just a handful. And they're very selective about where they place their money. So taking on some of those clients for capital raises was an expensive misuse of our time as M&A guys, because they usually weren't successful, and our clients didn't necessarily end up really happy with the deals they were being offered. So when I saw what Commonwealth Capital was doing, I was just very excited about it. I know there's a huge need for it. What excites me about it personally is I like to see entrepreneurs with really good ideas and really good business plans get capitalized. The ones that deserve to get capitalized should get capitalized, and they don't have a lot of opportunities to do that. So that's what appealed to me about Commonwealth Capital.
Great, thank you. Okay, so your position as VP of Acquisitions is basically running all the managing directors, and you're involved in a handful of really high-quality deals now. But overall, what's your favorite part about working for Commonwealth Capital?
Well, again, if you're looking at the big picture of what we do, it's very exciting to see entrepreneurs that have come up with a good idea or a good business model and actually go out and raise some of the seed capital themselves from friends and family that believed in them or believed in the business model. And they've worked hard, they've got a lot of sweat equity involved, but they need to get to the next step. And they don't have options. They can't go to the commercial banks, and they don't want to give up too much of their company too early for too little to a venture capital fund or a private equity fund. And so they don't have a lot of sources. We now are positioned to help those people get capitalized. And it's exciting because some of the best ideas that the world has never seen are on some engineers or entrepreneurs' drafting board in their garage or on an old computer that they're not using anymore, and it could have been a revolutionary, global business, and it never got capitalized. So it's exciting to see these guys get the money they need to develop these kind of companies.
Thank you. And you're a key part of helping Commonwealth develop a lot of these strategies. So, approximately how much sweat equity do you have into the firm?
Quite a bit. I was introduced to the firm coming up on 2 years ago, and I've put in a lot of time and energy because I believe in it. I've been able to support myself through other means in the meantime, but the people that work here at Commonwealth Capital are the kind of people I want to be around with for the next 10 to 20 years of my career, and the opportunity is very, very exciting, to say the least.
Well, thank you very much. Anything else you'd like to add as we can close?
No, I just guess, I'm in charge of building basically the sales force, recruiting and training managing directors, and it's exciting because I think we're going to see some real cream of the crop, people that are coming from the securities industry or the financial markets industry, and it's going to be fun to recruit some of that talent and pick the best of the best, because at the end of the day, we're a service company. We provide a service to the entrepreneurs that decide to work with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun to do that, to help assemble that team.
Good deal. Okay, thank you very much for your time, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, today we have our Chief Operating Officer, Miss Mai Lu. Hi, Mai. How are you today?
Hi, Tim. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Can you tell the folks a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I came to the United States in 2002 and I earned my master's degree in accounting. I'm a CPA, CMA, and CFE. I'm also a real estate investor.
Great. Okay, when did you join Commonwealth Capital?
I joined Commonwealth Capital in 2018 as a managing director, and I was promoted to COO in the second quarter of 2019.
Great. And why did you join Commonwealth Capital?
I love what we are doing here, and I'm super excited about the platform we are building using automation through blockchain technology. And I'm also very excited about the domestic and the international market that we are going after in the near future.
Great. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I am an investor in the company. I personally invested $75,000 in Series A preferred equity. And I also have 4 other friends who are investors in the company.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm very honored to be a part of the company, and we have great culture and great management team. I love the people I work with. This is exactly where I want to be in my career. There's nothing else I would rather do.
Well, thank you very much, Mai. We're honored to have you as part of the team as well.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay, we'll catch up next week.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's the corporate culture that we build here. I was fortunate enough to work for some very good Wall Street investment banks, but even prior to that, I worked for S.C. Johnson & Sons out of Racine for a couple of years right out of college. And that was a very family-oriented company, and I really liked that. So, here we treat each other like family. We're very selective of who we let in the door. And so if you're a managing director type and would like to apply, we'd love to hear from you. I hope this has been helpful. Please do watch the walkthrough video and give us a call if you'd like to participate either as an investor or as a managing director. Love to hear from you. Thanks a lot again.